Okay. But now we're starting to get into some of the other stuff that's beyond YouTube. And since that was kind of the title, that's a great little segue into some of the other things. Because remember, what we're talking about is YouTube isn't your hub necessarily, but it's a lead generation or it's a traffic generation system for you. So you saw me talk about all of these people out there in the world. Okay, there's 6 billion people, 6 billion of us out in the world here today. How do we get some of those folks that are interested in the particular niche things that you're talking about, that you have an expertise in, okay, and get them to your blog? Okay, that's great. But then outside of that, and you saw some of the things that we did. There's the embed code, there are the tags. We can get people searching on YouTube, second largest search engine in the world. You put your URL in the first line of the description area so they can click through and get to your blog. Okay? But when they get to your blog, that's really not all there is, right? Because it doesn't do you any good if you have 10,000 people visiting your blog every month, and you have no way of actually capturing those people or actually engaging with them in any way. On your blog someplace, that now, or your website, think of it as your website. If you don't have a blog, then you have a website, okay? That's where your entry point is to your marketing funnel. And many of you have an IDX type of a system, or where you're building the list. So people do searches for properties, and if they want more, because they're doing a lot of searches, okay, then they got to sign up and put their contact information in. Sign up for email, now they have an account, and they can visit you all the time. That's great. You should have that. That's one way to capture leads that are coming to your site. Okay, I happen to use something called Aweber, which is another one for list building information. Others that are out there, I'll kind of say this, and some of you will snicker at me. Constant Contact, iContact is another one. There's all kinds of different. GetResponse is another one. But the idea is you should have some kind of. I mean, do you agree? You should have some way to capture lead information that comes to your website. But now here's the thing. Is that all you need? Just by virtue of the fact that you got an opt-in form on your website or your blog, is that all you really need? Actually, no. You kind of need more. Even though they click through your video, they like you, you're personable enough, that's not enough to get them to sign up on your site. The other thing that typically you want to have is some kind of a gift for that person. Something free that you want to give that person in exchange for signing up for your contact database. So maybe you have another video series that teaches them about the whole short sale process, or the foreclosure distressed properties process, or whatever, what they can expect coming down the line. Generation Y is coming down the pike, and you have a whole bunch of folks that are now going to probably be hitting you up for first-time home buyer consultations and so on. What a great series you can create on just video, put that on video and provide that to them. In exchange for sign up here, you can get free access to my 6-part video series on first-time home buyers. Once you have them in your list building software, even that's not enough to generate business online. You got to keep touching those folks, because the person that signs up today, okay, you might have somebody else sign up a week from now, but if you don't touch any of those folks, the person that signed up today is now gone a week, and nobody else has contacted that person. You haven't touched that person, and they're in your database. So every week, a newsletter is still great, because we talk about social media all the time, but I think sometimes we forget that email is also social media. Okay, and so it's another way for you to contact these folks, and the idea being that you're touching these people once every week at least, or maybe twice a month or something like that. But basically, you're touching these folks, giving them some updates, perhaps about other new things that they should visit your blog for, okay, or a new video series that you just created. It could be a consultative type of a video, okay. It's not just about, oh, look at my new listing here today, nice panning view of the kitchen. Now let's go look at the outdoor view to the ocean. Well, you can have some of those things, but I think part of that people also want when they buy property is they're not just buying the property, they're buying the community. So perhaps you're also showing the top 10 trails in Orange County that you haven't heard about, okay, or the running trail, the biking trails that you want to visit and so forth. So you can do some of those things and tell them every week the new things that are happening on your blog. But even that is probably not enough to get these folks to bite, because the other thing that you probably eventually want to have is some type of an offer. Now we're getting into like digital marketing here, but some other type of an offer that ultimately gets them to either set up an appointment with you, to call you, or whatever along those lines. Or if you're a different type of a marketing, you sell widgets or assets, electronic assets, to actually then swipe their credit card. Okay, but all that fits into, you can see where YouTube kind of fits in, just one of those things that is a lead generation to your site, but you still have to have this overall strategy in terms of how do you actually do something with those people once you've got the lead and they've signed up on your site.